Okay, so for example number 7, we have another triangle like this, where this is A, capital C, capital B. Then that would mean that this is lowercase a, this is lowercase b, this is lowercase c. And we're given that this is 12, that this is 27, and that this is equal to 20. Now this is kind of a side application, and so we would, again, if we write this out for our angles to solve this triangle, and then our sides, we get capital A, capital B, capital C, and then lowercase a, lowercase b, and then lowercase c. Alright? And they gave us A, which is 12, B, which is 27, and then C, which is 20. And we don't have any angles. So this, we can find any one of the angles by using the law of cosines. So I'm going to say B squared is equal to A squared plus C squared minus 2AC cosine of B. Alright? And so B squared is 27 squared is equal to 12 squared plus 20 squared minus 2 times 12 times 20 cosine of capital B. We don't know what capital B is. So then in the next line, what I end up doing is I'm going to move all this stuff over. So I'm going to subtract this. So I'm going to say 12 squared minus 12 squared, or I'm sorry, minus 20 squared well, wait, let me do it this way. This is how the textbook has it, but it's not quite right. So on the next line, I'm going to get 27 squared, which is 729, then 144 plus 400 minus 2 times 12 times 20, which would be 480, I think. Yep, 480 over cosine of B. So when I add these up, I get 729 is equal to 544 minus 480 cosine of B. I'm going to subtract 544 from both sides, and so I get 729 minus 544, that's equal to 185, minus 480 cosine of B. I'm going to divide this by 480 because I want to get cosine of B by itself. Whatever I do on one side, I do on the other. So 185 divided by negative 480 gives me negative 385,417 cosine of B. So then I'm going to take over here, I know I put rounded because that's an approximation, the arc cosine of cosine of B. Whatever I do on one side, I have to do on the other. .385417. So now I'm going to take our cosine on my calculator of negative 0.385417, and I get 112.7. Okay, so I did all that work to find the measure of angle B. Holy moly. 112.7. Now to find the measure of angle A, I basically have to do the same thing again, but to find the measure of angle A, I can just over here to the side, the measure of angle A I can find by saying sine of A over lowercase a is equal to sine of B over lowercase b. So that means that sine of A is equal to, or over 12 is equal to sine of 112 point, I'm running out of room, is equal to sine of 112.7 all over 27. I'm going to do something different. I'm going to multiply both sides by 12, so I'm going to multiply this by 12, and I'm going to multiply this side by 12. So then I'm going to get sine of A is equal to 12 times sine of 112.7 all over 27. I can do that on my calculator. I'm going to hit parentheses 12 times sine of 112.7 divided by, actually I gotta close the parentheses, divided by 27, and I get 0.41 something. It looks like 0.41. So sine of A equals 0.41. I'm going to take the inverse sine of that. I get 24.2. Yep, so I'm going to say sine inverse of sine of A is equal to sine inverse of 0.41, and I get the measure of angle A is approximately 24.2 degrees. So we'll write that in up here, 24.2 degrees. And then to find the measure of angle C, we know that the measure of angle C is equal to 180 minus 112.7 plus 24.2. 180 minus the quantity 112.7 plus 24.2. And I get 43.1. Okay, so just a real quick recap. We found that the measure of angle B was 112.7. We found that the measure of angle A was 24.2. Then we subtracted those two, both from 180, and I found that the measure of angle C was 43.1. So we've got 24.2, 112.7, 43.1. And that's it.